Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Kaliyugada Kalpataru, the fifth delight, Shri Raghavendra Gurusarvabhauma, chapter 60, the call to renunciation. After the Madhvanavami festivities concluded, the sacred Malika Mangalarati and the distribution of Mantrakshata, that is blessed rice grain, took place. That night, Sri Sudindra Tirtharu, deeply moved by the scholarly brilliance of Sri Venkatanatha, conversed with esteemed scholars. He praised Venkatanatha's erudition, his literary prowess, and his profound commentarial expertise, expressing his immense joy. After extending his heartfelt congratulations, the Guru retired for the night. The following morning, on Dashami, Sri Sudindra Tirtharu had a divine vision in his dream. In his dream, Sri Moola Ramachandra Deva appeared before him in radiant effulgence, saying, "O foremost among renunciates, I am greatly pleased by your devoted service. Your dear disciple, Venkatanatha, is my supreme devotee, born for the sole purpose of my worship and service. He has an immense mission to uplift the world. Bestow upon him the Paramahamsa Ashrama, that is the highest order of renunciation, and initiate him into sannyasa in my name. This is my divine command." With these words, the Lord vanished, leaving Sri Sudindra Tirtharu in a state of divine ecstasy. At that moment, Sri Vedavyasa Deva manifested before him, adorned in matted locks, that is jata, and holding the sacred staff, Yogadanda, and water vessel, Kamandalu. "We are delighted by your untiring efforts in propagating Vedanta. But know this, through Venkatanatha, our Vedanta will shine across the world. We are always present in him, guiding him in his mission. He has incarnated solely for this purpose. You must bestow upon him the Paramahamsa Sannyasa Ashrama at once." With this divine command, Sri Vedavyasa Deva disappeared. As Sri Sudindra Tirtharu basked in the bliss of these celestial visions, he was suddenly granted the divine darshan of Sri Madhvacharya, the original preceptor and founder of the Dvaita tradition. Sri Madhvacharya, shining with the 32 divine attributes of a great Guru, appeared before him, overwhelmed. Sudindra Tirtharu immediately prostrated with full devotion. With a gentle smile, Sri Madhvacharya addressed him, "O dearest among my disciples, you have upheld the honor of our Vidya Samsthana, that is spiritual throne of knowledge, through your victorious debates, profound literary works, impeccable teachings, and unwavering defense of our doctrine. But know this, your disciple Venkatanatha is destined to preside over this great throne. He is a prodigy unlike any other, born to compose incomparable commentaries and expound Dvaita philosophy in a manner that will stand eternal till the end of time. We are ever present in him, bestowing our divine grace and guidance. Through his efforts, our teachings will illuminate the world. We have resolved to elevate him to the highest seat in our Vedanta empire. You must immediately initiate him into sannyasa and entrust him with the Mahasamsthana, that is a great monastic institution. This is my will." With these divine words, Sri Madhvacharya disappeared, leaving Sri Sudindra Tirtharu in a state of awe and immense devotion. Thus the destiny of Sri Venkatanatha had been divinely ordained. He was to renounce the world and ascend as the torchbearer of Dvaita Vedanta, guiding it into a new era of unparalleled spiritual brilliance. As soon as Sri Sudindra Tirtharu awakened from his divine vision, he was overwhelmed with spiritual bliss. His body shivered with devotion, tears of joy streamed down his eyes, and his heart swelled with gratitude and ecstasy. "With great fortune is mine. I have been blessed with the divine darshan of Sri Moola Ramachandra Deva, Sri Vedavyasa Devaru, and Sri Madhvacharya. What greater confirmation could there be than this? The very command that my revered Guru, Sri Vijayendra Tirtharu, once gave me has now been endorsed by Sri Hari and Vayu themselves. Thus, the words of our Guru are infallible. Venkatanatha is no ordinary being. He is a divine incarnation, descended to establish the supreme glory of Dvaita Vedanta for the welfare of the entire world. I must not delay. I must soon initiate him into the Paramahamsa ashrama and witness his rise as a radiant jewel of the Vedanta empire. With this firm determination, he arose from his resting place and immediately immersed himself in his daily spiritual rituals. It was Magha Shukla Dwadashi, a sacred day on which no formal lessons were conducted. Venkatanatha was resting in his chamber deep in thought. His wife, Saraswati, gently entered the room carrying a tray of milk and fruits. Seeing her husband asleep, she carefully placed the tray on a nearby table and sat beside him in silent admiration. For the past several days, she had been experiencing an inexplicable surge of joy and fulfillment. The praise and reverence Venkatanatha had received from his guru, scholars, and disciples, the recognition of his literary brilliance, the honor bestowed upon him, all of this had filled her heart with boundless contentment. As she sat there, lost in thought, memories of the past flooded in her mind, the grandeur and festivity of her wedding, the joyous moments of their married life, their first home in Kaveri Pattanam, the simple yet fulfilling days of their early struggles, the unwavering devotion of her husband, his mastery of the scriptures, music, and debate, the birth of their beloved son Lakshmi Narayana, the hardship of poverty that had tested them, her husband's steadfast faith and detachment from worldly desires, the honors and accolades he had earned, their arrival at the Vidyamata, and finally his unmatched intellect and spiritual prowess, which had earned him universal admiration. Lost in these cherished reflections, Saraswati gazed at her husband's face, which radiated an ethereal charm. No matter how many times she looked at him, she could never have enough. His face was serene and divine, adorned with gentle, knowing smile. As she remained spellbound, unable to tear her gaze away, Venkatanatha slowly opened his eyes. With a soft smile, he looked at her and asked teasingly, "Are you satisfied now?" Realizing that her thoughts and emotions had been entirely exposed, she was overwhelmed with embarrassment. With a bashful smile, Saraswati lowered her gaze, blushing at having been so completely engrossed in admiration. Thus unfolded a poignant moment where the depth of love, devotion, and impending destiny intervened, marking the final days of their life together as householders. Venkatanatha, what is this deep contemplation, Saraswati? You seem to be gazing at my face as though you had never seen it before. Saraswati, my beloved, from the day you took my hand in marriage, this has been my habit. Venkatanatha, ah, is that so? Then tell me, what is it that you see as you gaze upon my face? Saraswati, Swami, your face holds the very essence of all beauty in this world. Every time I behold this divine form, I become so intoxicated with love that I completely lose myself. Venkatanatha, laughingly, Saras, it seems your madness of love is only increasing. Such intense immersion is not good. Saraswati, why do you say so, my lord? Is it wrong for a devoted wife to love her husband? Venkatanatha, it is not wrong, Saraswati, but there must be a limit to it. Saraswati, love must grow every day. Should it not become the very essence of life, as even the scriptures declare? Venkatanatha, true, but that refers to devotion towards Bhagavan. Saraswati, Swami, even great ascetics like Shri Jayamuni have described devotion. Didn't you yourself quote this during Mangala discourse of Anumadhva Vijaya the other day? Venkatanatha, understanding the depth of our words, that refers to Paramatman, Saraswati. There is a great difference between that and your emotions. Saraswati, true. Nahi drishyante sarva samyam. There can never be absolute equivalence in an analogy. But isn't bhakti simply another form of love? Then tell me, how should it truly be? Venkatanatha, listen dear. True devotion is described as Mahatma Jnana Purvastu Surududaha Sarvataha Adikaha Sneho Bhaktiriti Prokta Muktihi Na Chanyataha. It means that devotion towards Bhagwan must arise from a deep understanding of his divine greatness, be unshakable, and surpass all worldly affections. Only through such love for Bhagwan can one attain moksha, which is the ultimate goal of life. Saraswati, smiling playfully, so the ultimate goal of Jiva is moksha, that is eternal bliss. Is that correct? Venkatanatha, yes, absolutely. Saraswati, if that is so, then is it wrong for me, a mere Jiva, to earn for it? The elders say that for a wife, her husband is her very God. If my husband is my divine Lord, and my ultimate purpose in attaining eternal bliss, then should I not strive to cultivate pure and unwavering love towards you? For a devoted wife, the path to eternal joy lies in absolute, unshakable love towards her husband. She must cherish his virtues and shower him with a devotion that surpasses all worldly attachments, even beyond her love for her home, her children, or any other possessions. No matter what obstacles or difficulties arise, she must remain steadfast in her devotion, in her love. This is the very essence of eternal happiness for a devoted wife, as stated in the scriptures. And so I am merely following the teachings of our Shastras. Venkatanatha, astounded by her profound reasoning, he smiles gently and shakes his head. All right, all right. There is no cure for your madness. Saraswati, smiling. Swami, you may interrupt my devotion however you like, but in the ninefold path of prema, that is devotion, the ultimate stage, Atma Nivedana, is the only one where I have a right. What great fortune could there be for a devoted wife than to surrender everything at the feet of our Lord with pure love? Venkatanatha, Sarasa, seeing the depth of your love fills me with joy. But everything must have a limit. Ati sarvatraha varjayat. Excess must be avoided in all things. Saraswati, this is not excess, Swami. Instead, what pains me is the thought that I might not be able to offer my love to you in its fullest measure. Venkatanatha, Sarasa, I fear that this overwhelming devotion of yours might lead you to great distress one day. Saraswati, Swami, if I can always have your love, then no hardship, suffering, or loss will ever affect me. I will endure anything. Venkatanatha, Saraswati, what if by the play of fate we are separated one day? What would happen to you in this state of deep love? Saraswati, disturbed. One must not utter inauspicious words, my lord. Venkatanatha, just because one does not speak of fire, it does not mean it will not burn. If such a moment comes, I fear it will bring you immense sorrow. Saraswati, firmly with deep emotion, my lord, if such a painful moment ever to arise, I could not survive even for a moment. Before I can bear the grief, my soul will leave this body. This is the truth. Venkatanatha, gently placing his hand over her lips, do not utter such inauspicious words, Saraswati. Saraswati, weeping softly, Swami, I cannot live without you. Venkatanatha, Saraswati, do not give into such unwise thoughts. Do you not recall the words of Bharavi? One must not act impulsive, for lack of wisdom leads to the gravest of misfortunes. Listen, Saraswati, just as deeply as you love me, I too cherish you from the depth of my heart. Do you not know this? Saying this, Venkatanatha drew Saraswati close, gently running his fingers through her hair, caressing her cheek, and conveying his deep affection. Saraswati, overwhelmed with joy at this single act of love, felt herself completely immersed in bliss. Saraswati, blissfully, Swami, just these few words from you are enough. I am truly blessed. Your words have filled me with a divine ecstasy. Venkatanatha, laughing, Saraswati, are you so lost in these love-filled conversations that you have forgotten your duties? Or will you finally offer me something to eat? Suddenly realizing her oversight, Saraswati blushed deeply. Oh, what a fool I am. I had brought milk and fruit for you, but I completely forgot to serve them, she thought, hurriedly offering them to her husband. Venkatanatha washed his hands and feet, then accepted the milk and fruit from Saraswati, and afterwards set out towards the sacred Kaveri river for his Sandhyavandana. As per Shri's instructions, the Dwarapalaka escorted Venkatanathacharya to the private chambers where Sri Guru resided and then departed. Venkatanatha prostrated before his Guru. Sri Guru warmly invited him closer, saying, "Come, Acharya." Venkatanatha, with humility, responded, "At your command, Gurudeva." Sri Sudhinda Tirtharu spoke gravely, "Indeed, I needed to discuss an important matter with you in solitude." Venkatanatha respectfully replied, "I am ready for your command." Sri Sudhinda Tirtharu then narrated the divine visions he had received. First, the instructions given to him by Sri Vijayendra Tirtharu before his passing, and then the celestial mandates of Sri Moolarama, Sri Vedavyasa Devaru, and Sri Madhvacharyaru, all of whom had appeared in his dream, directing him to initiate Venkatanatha into sannyasa, that is renunciation. "Acharya, you are truly blessed. You have received the sacred grace of Sri Hari, Vayu, and Guru, and you must accept Paramahamsa Ashrama from me and become a successor to uphold the glorious Vedanta empire established by our Acharyas." These words left Venkatanatha speechless. His heart trembled, his body perspired, and for a while he could not respond. Finally, after collecting himself, he spoke. "Venkatanatha, Gurudeva, what an astonishing thing you have just said. The great lineage of renunciates, beginning from Sri Hamsanamaka Paramatma himself, through the supreme avatara of Paumana, Sri Madhvacharya, and including the illustrious seers like Sri Jayatirtharu, Sri Kavindra Tirtharu, Sri Vibhudhendraru, and the revered Sri Sudhinda Tirtharu. Where does the divine kingdom of Vedanta stand? And where do I, an ordinary man, stand? How can someone like me, who is unfit in every way, be entrusted with such an empire of wisdom and dharma? Ever imagining such a thing in my dreams would be foolish. This is an impossible burden for me. I am like a man unable to cross a tiny stream, yet being asked to bear an unimaginable weight and attempt to cross the boundless ocean. Wouldn't such an attempt be laughable? What wise man could undertake such an impossible task? Listening to his disciples' concern, Sri Sudhinda Tirtharu, with a gentle smile, responded, "Sri Sudhinda Tirtharu, Acharya, you consider ruling the Vedanta empire to be as difficult as crossing the vast ocean, but isn't an ocean crossing easy when aided by sturdy ships? The vessel of renunciation is equipped with the sails of inner tranquility, that is Shama, Dhama, that is self-restraint, Dhairya, that is courage, and Panditya, that is erudition. Moreover, the sail of my blessings is ever in place to guide you forward. Why then do you hesitate? Just as the right ship ensures safe passage across the sea, your devotion and wisdom will guide you across the depths of Vedanta. Do not waver. Accept sannyasa and take charge of Sri Madhvacharya's glorious Vidya Samrajya, that is empire of knowledge." Yet Venkatanatha, overwhelmed by the magnitude of this proposal, continued to restrain. Venkatanatha, restless and anxious, Mahaswami, among all the ashramas, sannyasa is the highest and most revered. But one must be qualified for it. Renunciation requires complete detachment. The scriptures declare, only when a person has attained true detachment does he become eligible for sannyasa. Gurudeva, I have not yet attained the level of vairagya. Hearing this word, Sri Sudhinda Tirtharu patiently counseled Venkatanatha in many ways, explaining the necessity of sannyasa for the greater good, urging him to accept the divine command. Venkatanatha's resistance to renunciation continued. Venkatanatha, overwhelmed by his Guru's words, pleaded earnestly. Venkatanatha, "Swami, I am still a householder, a young man. My wife Saraswati is still very young. My son Lakshmi Narayana has not even had his Upanayan, that is sacred third ceremony, yet. I do not wish to become a sannyasi. I humbly request you, please do not force me." Sudhinda Tirtharu, Acharya, how can one so full of jnana, that is knowledge, and bhakti, that is devotion, say such things? Vairagya, detachment, is already present in you. That is why you must accept Paramahamsa Ashrama and take the path of renunciation. Venkatanatha, Gurudeva, it was Sri Vijayendra Tirtharu and yourself who arranged my marriage with Saraswati. By your blessings, our life has been blissful, and now you wish to break our harmonious household. Can such an act be justified? Sri Sudindra Tirtharu Acharya, household life is not the ultimate goal of human existence. What is the purpose of a householder's life? It is to be liberated from the fear of hell by having a Vamshodharaka Putra, a son who redeems ancestors. You have already been blessed with such a son. What is left for you to pursue in this fleeting world of samsara? Clinging to the household at this stage is unbecoming of true gnani like yourself. Venkatanatha, Swami, that may be so, but my wife Saraswati considers me her very life itself. She cannot bear to live without me. I request you, please forgive me. I cannot accept sannyasa. If you insist further, I'll be left with no choice but to leave the matha, abandon my studies, and withdraw from your service. Hearing this, Sri Sudindra Tirtharu was momentarily silent, realizing Venkatanatha's deep attachment to his family, but determined to guide him towards moksha. He spoke with great intensity. Sri Sudindra Tirtharu, Acharya, why such attachment to household life, which does not help one attain liberation? A wise man should understand that relationship in this world are sources of suffering. Do you not recall the fates of Vali and Dharmaraja? Did they not suffer due to worldly attachments? A man burdened by attachment to a woman will be forced to beg for wealth just to keep her happy. He will have to flatter the rich, calling their flaws as virtues, an ugly man as handsome, a miser as generous, an ignorant fool as learned, a violent man as calm, and a lustful man as detached. A person lacking even the slightest moral conduct will be praised as virtuous. An unjust man will be honored as righteous, and a decrepit old man will be called youthful. A wicked man will be glorified as a saint. Even the most ill-mannered and disrespectful will be worshipped just for the sake of maintaining the household. Worse still, one will be forced to visit places he should never step into, to serve the unworthy and to tolerate humiliation in order to bring home meager earnings. And yet, no matter how much wealth a man brings, a wife will never be truly satisfied. Therefore, Acharya, remaining trapped in this illusion of household life is unworthy of you. Free yourself from the bonds of attachment and take the higher path. Hearing these piercing words, Venkatanatha was shaken, his heart torn between duty to his family and the higher calling for renunciation. Sri Sudindra Tirtharu observed Venkatanatha's deep attachment to his family and once again urged him, Acharya, how will you attain the wealth of Vedic knowledge if you remain entangled in household life? Engaging in deep Vedantic contemplation while being householder is nearly impossible. Let go of your attachment to this young woman and prepare for renunciation. First, conduct Lakshmi Narayana's Upanayan and then accept sannyasa. Mahaswami, my wife Saraswati is not like the ordinary woman you describe. She is not possessed by material desires. She has no attachment to wealth, ornaments, or luxuries. She is a woman of sacrifice and noble qualities. She embodies all the virtues that a true Bharatiya Nari, that is ideal Indian woman, should possess. Gurudeva, today I will reveal something I have never told anyone before. Please listen. Venkatanatha then narrated in vivid details the extreme poverty he had endured while living in Kaveri Pattanam, recalling the harsh struggles and hardship they had faced. More importantly, he described Saraswati's immense patience, fortitude, and self-sacrificing nature during that difficult period. After this heartfelt revelation, he pleaded with his guru, Swami, how can I possibly abandon such a wife who has displayed unmatched sacrifice and unwavering devotion? Hearing this, Sri Sudindra Tirtharu was deeply moved. He was struck with grief and astonishment. His eyes welled with tears and sorrow as he realized the depth of suffering Venkatanatha had endured in silence. Choked with emotion, he said, Why did you not share your struggles with us before? How did you endure such pain all alone? Venkatanatha, sighing deeply, replied, Gurudeva, from the very beginning, I had been a man of deep emotions. I have never asked for help from anyone. I have always accepted what Paramatma has provided and lived in contentment with what comes by divine will. I considered my poverty as Bhagavan's will and bore it silently. Since you are my Guru and a compassionate well-wisher, I finally spoke about it today. Please forgive me for burdening you with my personal difficulties. Sri Sudendra Tirthura composed himself and consoled Venkatanatha. What is past is past. A wise man does not grieve over what has already happened. You must see all your past struggles as step towards a greater destiny. Now, will you fulfill my request? But Venkatanatha still stood firm. Swami, I have laid my heart bare before you. I have nothing more to say. I have no desires for sannyasa. Please forgive me and do not compel me further. Realizing that direct persuasion is not working, Sri Sudendra Tirthura took a different approach. Acharya, have you not often spoken about your own aspirations? Many times you have expressed your wish to write commentaries on Vedas to prove that they establish Sri Hari's supreme divinity and uphold Dvaita Vedanta. You have spoken about how the bhashyas of our acharyas need precise sub-commentaries to clarify the correct interpretations. You have wished to spread Sanatana Dharma to guide noble souls on the path of righteousness and true knowledge. Did you not make these resolutions? Venkatanatha humbly acknowledged. Yes, Swami, I still have these aspirations today. Sri Sudendra Tirthura, smiling slightly, then delivered his decisive argument. Then, my dear Venkata, to fulfill these aspirations, accepting Paramahamsa ashrama is essential. Venkatanatha, realizing the Guru's strategy, playfully smiled and countered with his own reasoning. Why, Swami? Can I not accomplish all these tasks as a householder? Do not the scriptures say, Dharma Grahasthashrami? The Grahastha ashrama, household life, is the most conducive path for spiritual pursuit. If you bless me, I will remain under your guidance, perform all these duties as a devoted scholar. Please do not insist that I take sannyasa. With this, Venkatanatha tried once again to escape the Guru's relentless call to renunciation. But deep within, he could feel the invisible force of destiny moving against his will. Sri Sudendra Tirthura observed Venkatanatha's firm resolve and, deep within, admired his steadfastness. However, he realized that this was not the right moment to press the issue further. If we insist on renunciation at this moment, it will not succeed. We must not lose hope. A more auspicious occasion will arise, where this proposal will be more favorable. With this strategic thought in mind, he addressed Venkatanatha with utmost patience. Acharya, this is not our personal insistence. This is the command of Sri Mula Raghupati, Sri Vedavyasa Devaru, Acharya Madhva, and great Guru lineage. It is your sacred duty to obey it. Reflect deeply and give your response. There is no hurry. Venkatanatha smiled gently, replied, Gurudeva, I have already expressed what my dharma is. Saying this, he politely dismissed the conversation and bowed to his Guru before taking his leave. However, while his outward demeanor remained calm, his heart was in turmoil. A deep unrest settled within him, and he contemplated the weight of this divine call. Although Sri Sudendra Tirthura maintained an air of acceptance, he feared that Venkatanatha might leave the town without informing anyone, and an act of escape from this overwhelming fate. To prevent this, he secretly appointed a few of his most trusted disciples to keep watch over Venkatanatha without his knowledge. Thus, as Venkatanatha returned home, lost in deep thought, his every movement was now being carefully observed, ensuring that he would not slip away unnoticed. Hari Om. Om Sri Krishnarpanamastu.